Hi fellas. Welcome to I Summarize, where we tell you life story of something interesting people. Grab your favorite drinks. And today we will start this story in a pub located in the elite Belgravia district of London, the Plumber's Arms. The night of November 7th, 1974, the pub was busy with customers as usual. Around 10 o'clock, suddenly a woman entered with blood-stained clothes. She shouted, "Help me, help me, help me, I've just escaped from being murdered. He's in the house, he's murdered the nanny." Everyone in the pub was shocked. Who didn't know this hysterical woman? She was the beautiful woman who often graced the pages of magazines and newspapers, Veronica Ducan, known as Lady Lucan. Aside from her appearance that left everyone shocked, her cause was no less surprising. One of the pub's employees immediately called the police. After Lady Lucan was taken to the hospital for treatment, the police went to her house and found a body in the basement of the house. Since then, her ex-husband, Lord Lucan, has never been found and has attracted a lot of attention for 4 decades. There are many conspiracy theories regarding the whereabouts of the Anglo-Irish aristocrat. This is the mystery of Lord Lucan's disappearance. His real name is Richard John Bingham, 7th Earl Lucan, who was born in Marylebone, London on December 18, 1934. He grew up in England's most prestigious noble circles and was familiarly known as Lord Lucan. Lucan grew up to be a handsome man who had expensive hobbies and habits, such as driving an Aston Martin car and being good at driving speedboats. He also likes to play card games while sipping his favorite drink, a vodka martini. With his lifestyle, he was once considered for the role of James Bond. He began his career as a soldier in the British Army in his father's regiment, the Coldstream Guards, the majority of which were stationed in Krefeld, West Germany. However, his career in the army was short-lived. He decided to leave the British Army in 1954. Lucan went on to work at William Brandt's Sons & Company, a London-based merchant bank that paid him £500 a month. In the midst of a successful career, he met a stockbroker named Stephen Raphael. They went on vacation together in 1960. It was Stephen who introduced him to the exclusive society of wealthy British gamblers at the Claremont Club. Lucan himself had been into gambling since his days at Eton College. In 1963, Lucan met Veronica Ducan, the daughter of an army officer who secretly admired noblemen like Lucan. After meeting at a golf club, Lucan fell in love with the former model. Their relationship went smoothly and quickly. The Times and the Daily Telegraph newspapers announced their engagement shortly after dating on October 14, 1943. At Holy Trinity Church, Brompton, they married on November 20, 1963. The couple moved to the Belgravia area after buying house number 46 on Lower Belgrave Street. Apart from being known for their elegance, the couple was also known to enjoy traveling abroad with luxurious facilities. Throughout their marriage, they had 3 children: Francis in 1964, George in 1967, and Camilla in 1970. Lucan still pursues his hobby by gambling at the Claremont Club in Mayfair. He once won a gamble and brought home £26,000, which earned him the nickname Lucky Lucan. Believing that luck would always be with him, he left his brilliant career in banking and became a professional gambler. Little did he realize that as long as he was playing, he was always losing, so the money he won couldn't cover his debts. Veronica, on the other hand, was struggling with depression after giving birth to their 3rd daughter. In 1972, Veronica decided to divorce Lucan to ease her mind. The divorce made Lucan even more addicted to drinking and gambling, especially since he had to face a custody battle for their 3 children. Veronica got the rights to the family home on Lower Belgrave Street, even though Lucan thought that if the house was sold, the family would get out of bankruptcy. Unfortunately, Veronica was set in her decision to divorce him. In January 1973, Lucan moved into a flat not far from the house to maintain communication with his children. At that time, both his relationship with his ex-wife and his children were not good. So, Lucan tried to win over his children while fighting their mother in court. Lucan won the first round of the trial, arguing that Veronica could not take care of her children because she was mentally unstable. But in the second round of the trial, Lucan lost in a landslide, as Veronica claimed that the cause of her mental illness was Lucan himself. Veronica accused him of physically and sexually abusing her and gaslighting her. Veronica got full custody of her 3 children as long as she hired a nanny. On the other hand, Lucan was allowed to visit his children every weekend. From then on, Lucan became aggressive and began to harass Veronica. Lucan often spied on her, stalked her, and even recorded their phone conversations. This made Veronica uncomfortable, and she reprimanded her ex-husband. Since then, Lucan has slowly developed a grudge against Veronica that led to a terrible tragedy. There are two versions of the chronology of this tragedy. According to Veronica's side of the story, on the evening of November 7, 1974, she was watching television with her daughter Frances. Her youngest daughter's nanny, 29-year-old Sandra Rivet, had just worked 10 weeks. Usually every Thursday night she was off. But that night she was still at Veronica's house. At 9 p.m., Sandra offered her tea and Veronica agreed. That night, the light in the basement kitchen goes out. Veronica plans to fix it tomorrow. Sandra goes down to the kitchen to brew tea not long after someone suddenly hits her on the head 4 times. She hears the culprit grunt and tell her to be quiet. Instantly, Veronica recognizes the voice. It was her ex-husband's voice, Lucan. Veronica squeezed Lucan's private parts. Then she ran to the dark basement kitchen where Sandra was brewing tea. She managed to escape through the basement door to the plumber's arms. But Sandra will not have time to save herself. When the police arrived at her house, they found Sandra lifeless in a sack. Meanwhile, the 3 children are fine. No one was found in the house. On the other hand, Lucan immediately left the home after realizing his position was wrong. Veronica could accuse him. With a car borrowed from his friend, he headed to Sussex and arrived at Susan Maxwell Scott's house at 11:30 p.m. Susan opened the door and saw Lucan calm but visibly shaken. According to Lucan's version, he was not the culprit. That night, while he was passing in front of the house, he saw Veronica being attacked by a strange man. He reflexively stepped in with the intention of helping. When Veronica managed to escape, the woman went to the basement instead of calling the police. Veronica screamed hysterically and accused Lucan of killing her. At Susan's house, Lucan writes 2 letters addressed to the owner of the car, Michael Stoop, and to his brother-in-law, Bill Sand Kitt. The letters contained a chronology of the incident and claimed his innocence. He also requested that his 3 children be taken care of by Bill because he did not believe Veronica could take care of them. After that, Lucan left Susan's house and said that he would solve this problem. That was the last time Lucan was seen. Along with Lucan, the car he was driving also disappeared for several days. On November 11, 1974, the Ford Corsair that Lucan had borrowed was found around the south coast of New Haven. According to Michael, Lucan had borrowed the car a few days before the tragedy occurred. He had also offered Lucan his other car, which was better. However, Lucan chose to borrow the Corsair. Police later found bloodstains on the car seat and a lead pipe that was most likely used to beat Veronica and kill Sandra. An immediate search was conducted across the beach and harbor, but the police found no trace of Lucan or his whereabouts. Police also checked his flat, but they found no sign of Lucan running away. All his belongings and important cards such as his driver's license, passport, checks, and bank ATM were still in place. The police then made sure to go to Susan's house in Sussex, but Lucan didn't return there either. Meanwhile, the trial of Sandra's murder case began on June 5, 1975. Veronica recounted the chronology from the beginning and said that Lucan was most likely mistaken. Sandra herself had the same posture as her, and the kitchen was dark. That's why Sandra was attacked in the end. Veronica believes Lucan's motive was to regain custody of their 3 children and recover his finances. If Veronica dies, he gets custody, can sell the family home and pay his debts. It only took an hour and a half for the jury to find Lucan guilty, especially after being handed the evidence found in the car. There are allegations that Lucan deliberately used his borrowed car rather than his own Mercedes to dispose of Veronica's body. But when he put the body in a sack, it turned out that the woman he killed was not Veronica. That's why he left her body behind. This decision makes Lucan the first nobleman to be found guilty since 1670. There is one fact that raises questions. Sandra's blood was found on Veronica's shoes and clothes, while the sack where Sandra's body was found had Veronica's blood. This fact was discovered when forensic science began to develop. Unfortunately, it was never mentioned. Lucan did not appear throughout the trial until his indictment, leading to many conspiracy theories about his disappearance. Many people believe that Lucan was dead. his body buried on one of the estates of the friend he last saw, Suzanne Maxwell Scott. According to Lucan's close friend at the Claremont Club, James Wilson, Lucan drowned himself in New Haven Harbor by filling his trouser pockets with stones, while according to Philippe Marc, Lucan had shot himself in the zoo and his body was eaten by a tiger. Over the decades, there have been 70 reports of his existence in various parts of the world. One of them is the theory of Neil Berriman, son of the late Sandra, who believes that Lucan is still alive and living in Australia. In 2012, a former assistant to casino owner John Aspinall, Shirley Roby, said that Lucan had been hiding in Africa. She heard it herself from conversations her boss had with some of his colleagues. Some believe that he was disguised as a hippie musician named Zhongli Berry. The Metropolitan Police later covered up their failure to solve the case by saying that Lucan's close friends, the so-called Eton Mafia, were reluctant to cooperate with the investigation. This statement supports the conspiracy theory involving the Ethos Mafia, where Lucan's friends had enough power to cover up and organize Lucan's escape. Out of dozens of other theories, none is enough to prove Lucan's existence. His whereabouts now remain a mystery. His only son, George, registered his death on February 3, 2016, so that he could inherit the title of 8th Earl Lucan. Meanwhile, Veronica died 1 year later. Did you enjoy our content? If so, please support us by like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching.